Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to the Scratticus Academy. We are back with some urban shadow goodness here. First of all, we have been having some tech issues at the moment, so bear with us if the tech gremlins come along and try and disrupt. We think they're all fixed, but I just want to give you a heads up anyway. Please check out all the links coming up in the chat now. That includes the Discord, where we have a channel on here just for this game. We'd love to hear what you think. Also YouTube, if you want to catch up on anything. All of our games are in playlists. And if you would like to get in a game, Ghost Drop Scrap, a DM on Twitter. A huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors in the form of the Deck of Many, with the Deck of Many Things, the Magic Moving Spell cards, and also their Humblewood, which you would have just seen before this show, which is also a video game. Mageham Press with their wonderful Dark Matter and also their Fae Folio. They are third-party D&D content, so you've got space, D&D in space, you've got the, as I said, the Feywild. Also the wonderful Hero Forge with their minis, their coloured minis. We're about to do some more things with them very soon, so keep an eye out on that. I'm very excited for that. And last but certainly not least, our new sponsor in the form of Dungeon Fog. They do their wonderful maps and their notes to help you construct your campaign or one-shot or whatever it is you are running, and they work they coincide with each other. So when you change something on your map, the notes update automatically for you. It's a really snazzy little thing, so go check that out. First of all, also Ravenheart hopefully will be joining us. I know there's also, as I said, there's tech issues, but if not, go check out all of their links and all of their stuff as well. They are an awesome human, as well as Ria Massa, who can't be with us today either, but please check out all of their links. Otherwise, we'll go around and say hello to everybody, and by that I mean us three. And we will start with the only person here, which is Mr. Loki. Oh, hi.
Hi, hello people. Last session we ended with a great cliffhanger, so I'm very anxious to see what's going on this session. So I'm happy to be back. I'm anxious, really anxious.
In the best way. Awesome, thank you. I'm White Rabbit Pick on Twitter. Also Alice, I think. I should also mention I'm a well-to-do hobbit in chat, because some people have had a conversation with me and then realized that it's me later. So just so you know. Also, I have a photography Patreon if you want to check that out, and I am DMing on some more channels in the future, so keep an eye out. Otherwise, I will hand over to our wonderful Master of Ceremonies, Lauren.
Hello. Hey everybody, I'm Lauren. I'm That Salty Ginger over on Twitter and half of Salty Sweet Games with my best friend Kiana. And I'm your very kind, benevolent Master of Ceremonies. I'm obviously going to go easy on them because there's only 2 of them. Why would I not do that? I'm gonna do it. Can't you tell how angelic I am? Anyway, tonight we're playing New Acadia Nights set in my homebrew city of New Acadia, based on New Orleans and the Buffyverse with a bit of Sin City light thrown in. We use the Urban Shadow system, and if you don't know what that is, I'll explain it very briefly. It uses the Powered by the Apocalypse engine for base mechanics. It is a political urban fantasy game in which my job as the MC is to make the city feel political and dark, keep the characters' lives out of control and evolving, and we all play to find out what happens, especially me. So last time, the group had a seance. It did not go as planned. The witch Una's body was taken over by not 1, but 2 spirits who did not want to vacate once they were in. Briggs, our hunter, checked out the alleyway behind the tea shop after one of the spirits mentioned dying there, and the place reeked of power. The veil between worlds is very thin there at this time. So thin, Briggs was even able to see it briefly. And a lot of people have died there. Whatever controls this place noticed Briggs watching and proceeded to send reanimated corpses after the group, including a long-dead hunter friend of Briggs. All the while, Jose Juan was trying desperately not to transform into a coyote. The group fled the tea shop with Evelyn leaving something important behind that she doesn't know about yet, and Jose Juan was able to run off into the night. Through his hacker connection, Vivian, Nike, our scholar, fulfilled his promise to Briggs about getting him the name of the owner of the limousine from earlier. Nike also found out that the body formerly belonging to the spirit he spoke to was out and about, just walking around the city without their soul. Anyway, Jose Juan was able to control the beast within and ended up killing a man under a bridge in the dead of night. So, now for our song lyrics. I wake up Sunday morning with my mind all in a haze, tear stains on my pillow and makeup on my face. I see those empty whiskey bottles and records scattered on the floor, and from the next room I hear crying. Then I remember the night before. So, we will start at the tail end of the night, as pulling up in Nike's car are Nike, Briggs, and Evelyn. You are in New Acadia East, near Briggs's safe house, and the two of them are wrapped in conversations. They get out, they don't say anything to you, Evelyn, and they just proceed on as if they don't even notice that you're there or that Colton's there, still like sitting in the car, but he's kind of used to that as the driver. What do you do?
She sort of lingers back for a moment, and she sort of keeps looking back in the direction they came, half expecting for Jose to maybe appear on his way there, and she waits for a bit. She'll call after them to be like, I'm just gonna wait for a moment. And
you got a big grumble.
Yeah, it's just sort
Briggs.
of she sort of backs away, looks at Colton, is like, I think I forgot something. I'll be back. And I know where I'm going now, so I'll be back.
He's like on his phone.
Yeah.
He's looking at Instagram.
Yeah. Can I follow him on Instagram?
Yes, it's like all like he's like an Insta model. He's got the bod. He's got
like
the
having
hair.
Coffee, like
yeah. He's
okay.
got a little bit of an eye. It's like tacky or trendy rather. It's trendy, but yeah.
She'll probably then feel around for her phone, which I'm hoping she still has.
That's so funny because it's not there.
Yeah, I knew it. Damn it! She sort of feels around and is like, and suddenly sort of it sinks in of almost the ramifications. Like she has the moment of, can get hold of her if she really needs to, but she's not going to be happy. She can't get hold of her easily, and then she's like, I can't. And it's almost the inner turmoil of, damn it. And she just sort of ignores Colton, sort of waves him off and just turns and starts walking back the way she came. One, hoping to find her phone, and two, hoping to find Jose. She's moving quite quickly because she remembers how, Jose held on to not changing for so long that she knows it can't be good. So she's kind of it starts off as a fast walk and a smile, and then she will break into a run as soon as she's out of sight of in case Briggs pokes his head out or something. She doesn't want
Okay, interesting. So you're in New Acadia East. This is night territory. This is not wild territory. And as you go, not a lot, but you see a few guys hanging outside. And you just see them watching you very keenly. Their eyes seem to glow in the dark a bit. There aren't a lot of them here, but you get the sense that this may have some wolf presence. And they're just noting you as you move, especially because you're running.
Yeah, she sort of, it's that awkward, slow back down to a jog as she goes. She starts to walk a bit taller, straighten out her jacket, it gives them always a good evening kind of nod. crosses the street because she doesn't want to be slowed down by any form of interaction, but will keep an eye on as she goes past.
Yeah. So, where exactly are you headed?
To the point where Jose jumped out of the car.
Okay. You cannot walk there.
No?
No.
I can't call anyone either.
I know.
Is there a bike I can steal? Evelyn on a bike could be rather amusing.
Sure.
Yeah, if there's a bike or something, she'll try and pinch it.
Okay. You're gonna try to pinch a bike.
Yes.
Okay, so you walk around a bit, and I assume you're looking for one that's like not chained.
Yeah, ideally, and not one that looks like a kid's bike.
Damn it! Stop taking my ideas from
I know what you like, Lauren.
Okay. I think as you go to take this bike, one of the guys you saw earlier steps out. He's smoking. He's got on a tank and I don't know what are regular guy pants, like cargo pants. I don't know. I don't know much about fashion. And combat boots. He's got his hair pulled back. He's got pretty neatly trimmed facial hair. His hair is long and dark. I don't know. What's this guy's name? What do we think this guy's name is? I don't know.
Sorry, I've come up with so many like names on the spot today. I'm like, don't repeat them.
Don't repeat them.
Same ones
Don't repeat them. His name is something. We'll go with Eduardo because it's pretty. He just kind of steps out as he sees you obviously like about to take a bike from the neighborhood.
Yeah, I think she sort of gives him a bit of a smile and it's like, good evening. Hello.
Hi.
And she's like, it's nice. It's a nice night. You live here?
Not here, but around.
Is this your bike?
No, you don't look like you live here, though.
Oh, I don't.
No, you, yeah.
She sort of gives a sweet smile.
Yeah. He's not smiling as much as me. He's vaguely amused and smoking his cigarette.
And she sort of, if anything, it's that weird smile trying to compensate for his lack of smiling. I need to get somewhere very quick. So I was going to borrow the bike. And
you need a ride.
I do.
You want to persuade an NPC?
I kind of do.
Through, what is it? Through seduction, promises, or threats?
It's kind of like that. Help! I'm a little young lady stuck.
I don't know where I am.
Yeah, it's kind of.
How did I get here? Eduardo, he, him.
Right, persuade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 20. Oops. No, I did. It's the first one.
What is it?
It's a 6.
Oh, well.
It's so annoying because the next one is a full success.
Oh, that's so sad. Okay, so on a miss. Well, it does not work. Well, I can't let you take that bike. It's not yours.
That's a very fair statement, I will say. And she pauses for a moment. Could you give me a lift?
You want me to give you a ride?
I don't know. It depends. What you drive or pedal.
He kind of gestures back up the street a bit, and you see a motorcycle. There's a jacket hanging off it. It is not expensive, but it is well maintained.
And she looks at him and looks at the bike, saying, I would quite like to have a ride if that, it saves walking the streets on my own. Hello, readers.
Yeah. I think I could do that. Where are you headed?
Where was it that Jose jumped out? It's just been a couple of weeks. I can't remember.
It was
I'm just trying to remember.
Way down south near the river.
Yeah, she'll probably relay that. She's like, just drop me off down, by the river.
All right, I was going to Chapatula. Does that work for you?
Yes.
What exactly, now I'm a gentlemanly sort of fellow, but,
Of course.
You mind if I ask?
I wouldn't ask.
You mind if I ask what you're doing here?
Well, you see, if I can be really honest with you, I was out on a bit of a date, and to be honest, he took me back to his place, and I really didn't like the look of him, so I just hopped out the window and thought, I'd head back home on my own. But the problem is, I don't know where I am completely right now, or at least going back to mine is going on foot is a little bit difficult, if you get my meaning.
Mislead distractor trick.
Oh God, hang on, where is that?
That's under mind.
Okay, I have a -1.
Oh dear.
Yeah, hang on.
You can do this.
Okay.
You can do this.
It's in mislead distract or trick. Do I select yes, or is it just roll straight up?
It should just be roll.
Okay, I'll do that. Partial success.
Partial success. On a hit, they are fooled at least for a moment. On a 7 to 9, pick 2. You create an opportunity. You expose a weakness or flaw. You confuse them for some time. You avoid further entanglement.
When you say further entanglement, do you mean like line of questioning?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah,
I would say
think
line
that's,
of questioning.
She's, if anything, she's just trying to avoid as many questions as possible. She's trying to give off the image of, don't ask a lady her name, age, or any other details.
Right. Yeah, would you, and what else? I guess the opportunity is he's going to give you a ride.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Raven. Cool. So, Eduardo gestures for you. He pulls out, there's like a bag attached to it. He puts on his jacket. Well, he starts to put on his jacket and then he hands it to you. Gets pretty cold.
Oh, thank you. And she sort of takes
nice
it and
touch.
just sort of slides into it and like shrugs it on. It's probably too big for her, but he, by the way,
he is like, he's ripped.
Yeah, okay. She's like, oh, it's quite cozy. And she sort of like shrugs it on and walks behind him.
I run hot.
Do you?
Just a natural thing. And he straddles the bike.
I think she has probably definitely ridden a motorcycle before.
Yeah.
But I don't think she necessarily wants him to know that. So she starts off sitting like side-side. I was like, oh, okay, this isn't going to work. And then sort of swings on and holds onto the back of him and is like, ready when you are.
He smiles, and now that you're behind him, you see tattoos on the back of his neck and kind of upper shoulder area. They're in French. but Cajun French. You probably recognize them from that. But one word kind of sticks out. It says loup garou.
Would I know what that means, or?
I think so. It's kind of an old folktale around New Acadia. It basically means werewolf. It's a Cajun French word for werewolf.
Okay. And she sort of looks at it, makes sort of a note of it, and then smiles back at him and just waits for him to move on.
Yeah. He takes one last drag of his cigarette and then throws it down, crushes the butt under his boot, and takes off into the night. So, it's gonna take you a bit. Why don't you... I think that it's getting closer, like close-ish to morning by the time that you actually find him. And Eduardo is going to help you look around. He doesn't just kind of ditch you. He
looks like a gentleman.
Yes.
I think she tries to get rid of him at first, then realizes like, oh, he's staying.
Yeah. Yeah. And eventually, under past a bridge, kind of on a park bench that overlooks the water, you come across the sleeping form of Jose Juan. He's not dressed.
Completely naked.
I think she probably sees.
If that's okay with you, Joaquin. Okay.
I think she takes off the leather jacket and just sort of throws it over him without looking half, and she's like, Jose? Sort of like trying to look as she's sort of covered him and say, and are you awake there? As you sort of with your foot, you feel like you're being nudged in the arm as you're there.
So, am I awake?
Yeah. You remember bits and pieces. You definitely remember the taste of blood in your mouth.
I was about to say that. So probably this has happened before. I don't know if I got to the length of actually killing someone else. I know that it happened a couple of times back in Mexico, but I only injured a couple of people, but not killed. So, but that thing, what you said right now, it's like ever present in my mind. That taste, very specific, like something that you will never forget about it. First thing in the morning, and you have this awful taste on the mouth, and you know that something went wrong. So tell me, I don't get. I have no details, but I know what I did.
You have a vague sense that you attacked someone.
Okay. All right. So I wake up, probably both surprised and nervous about what I'm trying to get all about it. I'm very surprised, first of all, to hear Evelyn. Like, I would not expect her voice to wake me up. Probably I'm a little bit cold, right? I look around.
Yeah.
Where am I?
Okay, you are kind of right along the river. It's really windy here. It's still February, so it's definitely chilly. You were okay because of your wolf nature.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're just down by the river somewhere.
All right.
And as you wake up and you see Evelyn and you see Eduardo, I want you to put a face to a name using night. Partial success. Okay, so you know what most people know about them. This is Eduardo. He is. He lives in your neighborhood in New Acadia East. He is Cajun Creole. He is. You've suspected that he's a wolf. He's definitely somebody a lot of people in your neighborhood kind of respect with like a tinge of fear. He's a tough guy, but he's very loyal. He's very protective of the neighborhood.
Is he part of the Manuel's pack?
He is. He is. He works for Manuel. He's not like he's kind of being outsourced, I guess. Like he's been living in the neighborhood for probably as long as you've been there, if a little shorter. Mm-hmm. But like quickly, like took it on as like a home, and sticks mostly to himself though when he's not around. But that's what you'd know about him. Okay. And yeah. And you're wearing his jacket now. It smells of pine.
So I guess I wake up in the middle of I don't know, in a bush or on a bench or
on a bench.
Where I'm on a bench. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Am I covered in blood?
No.
Okay. That's very good, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm quite startled. I look around. Evelyn, sorry. What are you doing? Where am I? And I take the jacket and I try to cover myself, like I'm really embarrassed. I get myself all like red in my face.
Mm-hmm.
I think she sees how nervous he is and turns her full back to him. She's like, "Good morning. I was passing by with my new friend here and thought I'd check on you after you so quickly exited the car last night."
Thank you, señorita. You can see that he's very both nervous, he's very embarrassed, and he's kind of anxious. Like, I mean, he tries to get up, but like tries to cover himself. It's like he's really ashamed of what's going on right now. And can you help me get home, please?
Of course. And she questioned, is this like an alleyway near houses? Like, would there be washing lines?
Oh, this is like on the river bank. This is like a walkway along the river. You wouldn't have to go too far. There is like a main street nearby, Chapatulas.
She'd probably at least get that far just to see if she can swipe like a pair of trousers or something off of a washing line, just to at least make him feel a bit more comfortable. Hello, readers.
As you go, Eduardo kind of looks down at you. He hasn't really looked away. He definitely hasn't given you the privacy that Evelyn did. But he kind of like leans over the back of the bench. So, how'd you get mixed up with the likes of her?
Well, actually, fun story.
Is it long?
Let's just say that she's my friend.
You can smell the sulfur on her, right?
Yes, I can. But it is okay. She's a very good friend of mine.
Okay.
Right, Evelyn?
She's away. You wave at her as she's trying to swipe some clothes for you. It's very early. She's definitely going to be able to. He says, Jose Juan, I know you're new-ish to New Acadia.
Oh, yes, very new.
Yeah. Maybe don't mess around with demons.
Well, I'm not messing around. She's like a very, very helpful person. I'm definitely not. It's not what you think. It's not what you think.
That's not what I was thinking. I can, let's just say I think I might be a little more her type, but we'll see. You, however, don't need to be messing around with her.
All right. Yes. Okay.
So we're gonna get you back to the neighborhood, and then you have a meeting.
Yes, but I cannot. Oh, wait a second. I turn around. I just walk and try to reach out. I know that I hide. I hid the my all my outfit, my jeans and my shirt.
Yeah.
So I'll try to look for it.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh no. No, Laura, no.
Sure, you can find it.
Don't let me get butt naked back to my barrio, please.
No, you can find your clothes.
Okay.
Evelyn manages to find some shoes, like sneakers, that look like they'll fit, like they were left out to dry from being
He's definitely
wet.
swiped them off the back step of someone.
Yeah. And she comes back.
Some chunkless.
Yeah.
Yes, chunkless.
She said, shoes.
Oh, gracias. Yes, I need those. Thank you. Thank you. I get all my clothes, which actually probably smell like very, very bad. And yeah, I let them guide me back to the barrio.
I got him from here if you have other things you need to attend to.
She sort of looks at both of them for how far am I from, say, my apartment now?
From your apartment, you're closer to your apartment than you would be to New Acadia East.
Okay. Should probably have to go back to Briggs or something. But I actually think she's going to go look for her phone more than anything because she's feeling a bit panicky without it.
Sure.
And
I would.
I
would if I were her. I'd be
Yeah.
panicking.
Yeah, she's panicking, and it's probably a little bit obvious. She looks to Jose, is like, "Are you okay from here? I just need to."
Oh yes, everything is okay. Thank you. I appreciate your help. Muchas gracias, señorita.
No problem, anytime. And she sort of gives you a bit of a smile. It's like, I seem to have put my phone down somewhere, so I'm gonna go and find that, and then I'll meet back up with all of you when I'm able to call a taxi. So,
okay.
And she's doing a weird sort of back away, and she sort of hurries off quite quickly. Not a run now. It's daylight. She's sort of walking quite quickly. Yeah. She does look to Eduardo and is like, "Thank you. Your jacket."
Yeah, he was staring as you started to move away, like...
That's a sign. So by the time she starts walking back, and I'm walking side by side with Eduardo, I just stop. I get frozen for a second, like he's trying to think about what he's about to do, and he just turns around, sprints, and tries to get back to Evelyn, and she just like, it might be a little bit breaking a little bit of the personal space, but I take her hand and say, "Muchas gracias, señorita. I thank you very much. Thank you." And you can see at his eyes that, like, he's very afraid. He's very worried, but he really appreciates what you did right now for him. He was not expecting this, but seeing you at the scene and helping him out, it moved him very much.
I think she holds his hand back, and you probably feel how hot her hands are. And she's like, there's no worries at all, Jose. It's what friends do for each other.
Thank you, gracias. And I just turn around and run back to
She
Eduardo.
watches him go with mild confusion because she doesn't have a lot of friends. She doesn't normally get a thank you for doing something. So she watches him run back to Eduardo and then confused turns back the other way and starts walking.
Perfect. So we're going to kind of pull the camera back and up, like crane shot away as Evelyn heads back uptown and Jose Juan gets on the motorcycle with Eduardo to go back to New Acadia East. Back in New Acadia East, we zoom in on Briggs's safe house. There is no longer a car out front. Colton and Nike are gone, and it's very early. We're getting like almost 7 o'clock now. Basically, Evelyn bailed last night, and Nike said he had to go soon after. He was very distracted on his phone. And you awake with the sun, Briggs. Why don't you describe your safe house so we get a picture of it? Ooh, you're muted.
The safe house is very much like a house above a large garage in like the back of like a building. Like it probably used to be an auto shop maybe at one point, like a back alley auto shop at one point. But now it's been kind of like repurposed into like a very fortified safe house. There's lots of wards around simple wards around the safe house. A lot of it is exposed brick and metal, the lower level is all just the garage where the old car is, and he uses it to store his weapons and other accoutrements and things like that. And there's a lot of different weapons and exercise gear, like old rusty exercise gear, like picture like the weights you'd see like in a prison yard, you know what I mean, all rusted out and cracked, and an old bench with the foam stuffing coming out of the side. You know, an old beat up punching bag, like a chain and things like that, like from the old car with like the transmission and the engine sitting on the outside of it, you know, obviously being worked on. Lots of tools, a large metal case, like a cage, you know, like one of those like large metal cages, you know, like, and it's like and it's like a big lock on it, or a couple of locks, and there's a bunch of different weapons, like knives and guns and ammo, and there are even some weird things like swords and like spears and like some old looking things, like, and upstairs it's a little more old man quaint, like there are some pictures and things like that, but mostly they're all dusty. It's not really dirty up there, but it's obviously he only goes there to like sleep and eat, and then he doesn't really do much there. He cleans up when he can. It's not a very dirty, dusty place, but it's obvious that it's like if you look down in the garage area, you're like, a hunter lives here. But if you look upstairs, it's like an old man lives here, you know? It's kind of that feel. And Briggs wakes up in his old lazy boy. It's almost like breath is coming back into his body. He was dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just wakes up and just first thing. He looks around. Nike! Evelyn? Yeah, of course they're gone. Now, what happened to the shop, the tea shop owner? And I'm not supposed to know, but
she's still there.
Stood awkwardly in the corner.
Yeah, she's like made, I don't know, do you have like a bunch of like spare jackets or something that she could have like made like a pile out of and slept there?
Oh, there's like a couch, there's like blankets on the couch, everything, like extra pillows, there's all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's even a bedroom in the back.
Oh, perfect.
If she wanted to go to the bedroom. There's a shower and there's...
Okay, then she's absolutely made herself at home. As you start like calling out, she comes out with like her hair wet, like a towel. Oh, sorry. They come out with their hair wet and a towel wrapped around them. Hey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How young are they?
Una. What did I put? I didn't put an age. They're like 35. That seems respectable. Nice,
Okay.
respectable 35.
Is she a good-looking woman? A good-looking woman?
Yeah, they're like obviously keeps in shape, very kind of
Fit, yeah.
Yeah, she's fit. It's like a hippie aesthetic a bit.
Oh, okay.
Like
Hippie
one-
aesthetic. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
You know, they've got their like rainbow hair, half shaved, tattoos, like
That's a deal
Kind of
breaker for him.
kind of a hipster. Kind of a hipster.
like
like a middle-aged hipster.
No, they're just like part of it's a very New Acadia thing, I think.
Yeah. So Briggs, like he kind of looks at her and just kind of like he like maybe when he was younger he would have been like oh sorry, you know, but like
Mhm.
he's to the age where he's just like I see you made yourself at home.
Yeah, it's pretty cozy down here.
I don't get a lot of visitors. Sorry if it's a little worse than wear over here. Sorry, I haven't cleaned up in a while.
You don't get a lot of visitors. Is that because it's out of the way, or is that because of your...
It's because I don't invite nobody over.
That's what I thought it was. All right.
Did you make coffee at least?
I own a tea shop.
So Briggs, he goes, I hope you saved me some hot water. He gets up, he takes off his jacket, takes off his shirt, starts walking over to the shower.
Mhm.
I'll be out in a minute. Don't go nowhere. I got some questions for you. So he goes in there and takes a shower, gets dressed, and takes care of himself, you know. And while he's in the shower, he's, you know, like having a little bit of a think. He's not taking too long, but he's still having to think. He's thinking, like, Nike didn't tell him anything about what, like, he didn't. Nike still owes him. From like, obviously, that's what he's thinking. He's thinking about Evelyn and how she's involved in all this, about, like, because he knows what she is, and he's wondering how she's involved in all this. And he keeps thinking about the girl, about like he failed her. That's what he still feels that from the last time. He still feels that, like, kind of like in his gut. And so when he gets out of the shower,
Nike did give you the name, just so you know. He did give you the name of the person who owned the limo.
He gave it on the phone. He gave it into the phone. But I'll just say that Briggs hasn't checked the phone yet.
Totally.
So, okay. So gets out of the shower, wipes the mist, the steam off the mirror, and then an old feeling starts coming back from inside. His bones feel a little less crackly than normal. His joints feel a little more tight. His muscles feel a little stronger. He breathes in deep, and he's like, it's time to get serious again. So it's time for that old hunter to come back. That old hunter to come back. He's not an old man anymore. He's getting back into the hunter mode. So he stomps out of the bathroom, gets dressed really quick in the like the most tactical gear he can, like his full-on tactical gear.
Yeah.
And he steps out, and hopefully he smells coffee this time.
Absolutely not. In no way, shape, or form do you smell coffee. They're dressed.
Okay. Yeah.
But...
Well, he comes out, starts some coffee, and he's like, so he starts some toast too, I guess, for her. Starts some coffee and toast for her. And he goes, so what went on at your tea shop? That there were zombies coming in the back door.
I have
zombies.
No fucking idea. I was hoping you could tell me. And they're squeezing their hair out on your floor.
Yeah. Like, well, one of them zombies, that body belonged to an old friend of mine. So that means either someone summoned him to come after me, or they died in that spot right there. You know, a lot of things are going on right now that don't make sense. I was tracking vampires who stole this girl, and he hands her the picture. But it wasn't just vampires. It was some strange-looking folk with some strange-looking color hair. You know who I might be talking about?
They kind of point at their rainbow hair. What do you mean, strange colored hair?
What do you know about Fae?
They kind of sit up straighter. There aren't many Fae left in the city.
Well, better yet, what the hell are Fae doing hanging out with the vampires?
That's even stranger. There were rumors of a vampire who was kind of experimenting on Fae.
What kind of experiments?
Like seeing if they could become both in a way.
Hybrids?
Yeah.
Between a Fae and a vampire?
But the vampire who was doing that's supposed to be dead.
There's a lot of people that are supposed to be dead. A lot of times they don't end up staying that way, if you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
So what about that girl? You ever seen her?
No.
Didn't think so. Well, what do you think of a cross between a Fae and a vampire want to do with some poor little girl from the barrio? And what does it have to do with zombies coming in your back door?
I don't know if they're connected. What'd you see out in the alleyway?
There was blood. Obviously, someone had been murdered there. Whether it was my friend or whatever undead creatures came through that back door. They died there, or they were summoned there. I really don't know. I was hoping you would tell me. Maybe give me a good idea who I should be looking for.
Well, the first spirit, the one that Nike knew, the girl, she died there. She told me that. Didn't your friend, whoever he was, your friend, I think he said the same thing, that he died there.
I think you're right. But who would get the edge on old Jebediah out in the back alleyway behind a tea shop? Maybe your shop how long you own that shop anyway?
I took the building on 4 or 5 years ago.
So not long. Any idea how long ago that girl died?
No. We never discussed it. Nike didn't say.
All I know is that Nike wanted to get that girl's spirit and put it back into his chainmail, I think is what he said. But there's something about it. She wanted to go back to her body, I think, right? Isn't that what she said?
Yeah, it also seemed like she was trying to stay in mine. I think a body is a body to a spirit, though I'm sure they'd prefer their own.
I know it may be dangerous, but what would you think about going back there and maybe looking around a little more? I'd keep you protected, of course, and it's your place. I'm sure you want to pick up any personal items you may have left behind.
They kind of cock their eyebrow. Well, at least with the stuff Nike's sending over, I should be able to protect it better. So yeah, we can head back there.
All right. I got another car stashed just up the road. That old beater down there ain't fit to drive. But I do have a ride.
You
It's a
do
friend's
have a
car.
car?
Yes, it's my friend's car. All I gotta do is knock twice and he'll give me the keys.
Oh, I gotta see this. Okay. Whose car is this?
It's my old friend Jim's.
Jim. Yes. Yes. Jim. Tell me about Jim.
He's just a regular old guy.
He's a regular.
I saved him from a wolf back in the day when I first moved here.
Cool.
Just no, sorry. Hold on.
Cool. Got it. Jim. Okay, yeah, we'll say that you can do that. I think that's easy enough. Boom. What kind of car is it?
I don't know. Let's see what he got.
Oh God.
You ready to
don't
go?
have- No. Sorry, that was Lauren saying no. I don't know anything about cars. Okay. Let's try it. Okay. So you go down to his place, knock on the door. Man comes out kind of, well, it's Sunday, so no tie, no jacket, just like, but a very nice dress shirt. Black man, middle-aged, really a charming smile. Although when he sees you, it's like, oh boy.
He knows.
Hey there, Jimmy. How you doing this fine morning?
I'm doing all right. Briggs, who is your charming friend here?
Don't worry about her. You got some wheels for me, Jimmy?
My name's Una. Nice to meet you, Miss Una.
He's like Briggs just like looks at her like are we like really like?
Oh yeah, really. She sticks out her hand. Jim takes it. What is it you need again, Briggs? You need the car?
Yeah, you got a car?
I've got a car here. I don't think it's your style, but it's a car.
If it drives fast, I'll take it.
It does. Okay. He hands you the keys.
He pulls out a stack of money. Like he's it's like old bills. It's like not even like the newer looking bills. It's like the really old like bills, you know, with they don't have the big numbers on them. He gives it to him. All right. Well, what kind of car did we get? I'll let you pick.
Oh, thank you. It's a Fiat. Because that's the kind of car I had. So it's a Fiat. The great thing about those is, you know, you can park them anywhere.
Well, this will have to do. So, Lady Una, are you ready to go?
Sure, we can do that. They're trying to hide kind of a little bit of a smirk because it is rather funny to see. Briggs is a tall guy, right? Mm-hmm. So, and the Fiats are compact. So seeing Briggs get in it, like he obviously is fine, but it's cramped, you know? Mm-hmm. It's cramped.
It has a trunk like with some space in it, right? Like some space, right? Okay.
Yeah, they have back seats and everything.
Okay. Is it 4 doors or is it 2 doors?
No, it's 2 doors, and they're very heavy doors.
All right, sweet.
Yeah.
All right, so.
It's a white with like a red leather top, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he goes around the other side, and he feels like maybe I was a little rude to Una. So he opens the door for her and goes, "After you."
They sit down in it, and before you can close the door, they snap their fingers and the door shuts. It like the handle jumps out of your hand and closes, and they lean back.
Nice trick. So Jim says, he turns to Jim. Sorry, Briggs turns to Jim and he goes, "I appreciate it, partner. I'm just gonna say this right now. If I don't bring this thing back, in a couple of days, just call me and I'll pay for the thing in full.
Briggs, I don't know if I want it back after the things you do to my car, so we'll just see.
Maybe you could stop by my shop and you could take a look at my old beater, tell me what you could do with it. And he gets in, starts the thing up. What does this thing, does it have a decent engine at least? Can we go?
Yeah, no, they're speedy.
Okay.
They're European, they're speedy.
All right, we're gonna stop right back at my shop real quick. I need to pick up some tools. So head back to the safe house, pull into the garage, and open up the trunk, pulling out the big guns, the crossbow.
Sure.
The crossbow, couple extra guns there's a big like M60 rifle. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
Like with the big drum thing on there.
Yeah.
Putting that back there. Though it's in a big case. Put it back there.
Okay.
Plenty of ammo. Shut the door. Grab an extra pistol. Sit inside the car. Car obviously feels a little bit heavier now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little more low down now. Okay. And you ever use one of these? Pulls out a gun, hands it to her. Or would you need to use one of these?
No.
Well, puts it in the glove compartment. If you're feeling frisky, let's go.
I'm feeling so the opposite of frisky. And y'all take off for the tea shop. We'll stay with you as you arrive at the tea shop. Evelyn's going to get there before, so I want to start with Evelyn. So you trace your steps back, and really the only stopping points were Nike's car and the tea shop. So it wasn't in the car, so maybe it's in the tea shop. So that's where you are. What do you do?
I think the first thing she does is she checks the drain by the road, if there's a drain there, to see if it's fallen down, because she remembers pulling Briggs back and like half dragging him at the same time, and she half thinks maybe it's there, and if it's not there, she's immediately going, like, retracing steps back to the shop and where she went.
You don't see it outside anywhere, but as you get kind of up the stairs to the shop proper, you see someone inside. Someone wearing a very nice suit, kind of bleach blonde hair, neat scruff, looking not only at his phone, but at yours. You see Ronan Blanchett, your fellow tainted.
I think I'm assuming, is the shop locked, or did we leave it open?
Oh no, it was open.
Yeah, I was gonna say, she sort of opens the door. I think there was a bell. She doesn't mind the bell itself going off. And sort of stands behind him for a moment. Is Ronan, fancy seeing you here.
Evie, babe.
Don't call me that.
Babe or Evie?
Either.
I was worried about you.
You worried about me?
Yeah, you see, I was tracking your phone and it just stopped moving all night. I thought maybe something had happened. So I decided to come check it out.
Could I have it back?
Oh, yeah, as soon as I'm done with it, you can have it back, yeah.
What is it that's so interesting about my phone for you and tracking my phone?
Yeah, tracking your phone. It's just something, just something Sam asked me to do. It's no, like, personal thing on you.
It sounds pretty personal. It's my phone.
Yeah, but it's like your work phone. I mean, you don't have any friends, right?
I have one. More than you.
Oh, I'd be fascinated to meet them.
You're
Are
not
they?
allowed to.
Oh, are they? So just tell me though, are they an idiot or just really, really lonely?
He sort of pauses it. No, I'm not friends with you. I have someone else. Now give me back my phone.
What do you give me for it?
She sort of pauses for a moment. There's something. She smiles and just goes, "Give me my phone."
No.
Why are you always such an ass about things like this?
I think it's just part of my charm.
I mean, I can tell just your demeanor.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you would have a friend if you stopped behaving like that.
I find my work personally very fulfilling because, my patron's around, showers me with anything I want.
I'm calling you on that, Laura, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I availed that. Yeah. I saw that.
He kind of looks at you and cocks an eyebrow. Yeah, I said it.
Well, I'm glad you have such a fulfilling relationship with your patron. But could I at least inquire what it is you need from my phone?
Oh, sure.
So you're finished.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out if you've been in contact with Belle.
Ah, okay. Some people just ask the question.
You see, I did ask you yesterday. And
I mean, since then.
Oh, were you gonna grace me with the truth?
You didn't ask.
Have you been in contact with Belle since yesterday?
I have.
Where is she?
She's around. She messaged me.
Evie.
Evelyn.
Sam really wants to talk to her.
I'm sure Sam does. Then Sam should probably contact her.
See, she won't answer anyone. You're the only one who's heard from her in months.
Well, then maybe she doesn't want to talk to Sam.
Yeah, well, that doesn't really matter to me because I work for Sam.
I don't.
Which brings us back to me keeping your phone.
So you want to keep my phone so Belle will ring you?
Yeah.
Why don't you just... Have you already sent her a message pretending to be me, or what is it you're trying to do here?
Well, the thing is, and I mean, honestly, mortal technology I'm decent, but I'm not some fucking hacker. So I'm just gonna spend some time with it, maybe give it to a friend of a friend to kind of break in, and then...
Who is this friend of a friend?
Well...
Friend. I thought you didn't have any. A contact of a contact?
Sure. If that makes you feel better about your one friend.
It
yeah.
Is.
So I'm gonna keep this, and I'll catch you later.
Catch me later? I would really quite like my phone back now, please.
Well,
How else am I supposed to do my job?
I don't really care about your job.
I don't care about yours. Give me my phone.
No.
She's gonna probably try grab it.
Okay. I'm gonna say he's able to keep it away from you. How tall is Evelyn?
Oh, Evelyn's like 5'4".
Yeah. Okay. He kind of stands up and he's an asshole if this is okay with you. He starts doing the puts his hand on your forehead and pushes you away a bit. You are welcome to do whatever you like though.
Stop trying to make me push into that palm, Lauren.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just playing the character.
Can I... If he's got his head, his hand on my forehead trying to push me away...
Yeah.
Can I take his wrist, turn around, and put it into a position where if I could try break his arm in the way that I'm not going to break his arm, but she's going to be holding it in the position. She's going to try spin it round.
Yeah. You still need to unleash an attack, but I've got an idea of what you want to do.
Okay. What do I need to roll for that? Or is
It's under blood. Unleash.
Okay. Please actually be good. 11.
So choose one, inflict terrible harm, or take something from them.
I'm sort of, as I take his wrist, I sort of spin it round and I force him down on the counter, where, so that he's sort of face down, and I take my phone and sort of lean back to where his ear is. And I'm like, don't touch my things. Ever. And she puts it on like, she sort of takes it, puts it on an inside pocket of an inside pocket, and tucks it in and sort of takes up her coat. And she won't let go until he looks like he's actually going to...
Oh yeah, he looks like he's in pain. He's not resisting.
Tell Sam if he wants to talk to Belle, then she'll answer him. And if you're a bit nicer about things in future, maybe I'll put in a good word. But when you do this sort of bullshit does not get you anywhere. Roan.
He nods.
And I think when she lets go of him, she does definitely step back because he's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
She tries to make it look like she's not at least a little bit intimidated by his size, and she tries to storm out of the shop.
Perfect. As you storm out, Roman's back there kind of fixing his lapels. His face is red. And as you come out, Briggs and Una pull up.
She's like checking it. Like, oh, you're
pull up in this Fiat. What color is the Fiat again?
It's white with a red convertible top.
I slowly watch it pull up. It's not like the car that was there.
Just imagine like he's hanging out of the car with his arm all out the window.
Awesome.
Like Evelyn, fancy seeing you here.
Briggs, fancy seeing you here. And she's not looking at you, she's looking at this car as she walks it. Because I'm assuming, is this like a vintage thing of Italian, like tiny little bubble cars? Because otherwise she'd quite like it. Being into things like that. And she's like, I like your new car. I never pictured you in a Fiat.
I never pictured myself in a lot of things. And he steps out. He just opens he kind of throws the door open and steps out. So, return to the scene, huh? You find something?
I dropped my phone.
Oh, I see. You find our boy Jose?
I did. He has a bit of a migraine. Wants to rest up, but I'm sure he'll be joining us later. Did you forget your phone?
Well, I forgot something for sure, and I brought our friend back to her shop. It felt like maybe she could help us out a little more.
Evelyn does look at is it Una or Una? Sorry, yeah. Looks at them and is sort of gives her a little bit of a friendly wave. I'm afraid there is already someone in your shop. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, like Briggs kind of like looks up. He kind of puts his hand in his coat and he looks down at her, kind of giving the eye, like not saying it, but like, is it dangerous? Like
they're like, oh, sorry, you're talking to Evelyn. Una's
Evelyn.
Like, what the fuck?
Evelyn looks at. Just to say yes, but don't shoot him. You'll just wind him up. If anything, he was in there looking for me, rather than in search of teeth.
Are you okay?
And she sort of smiles and nods. She probably looks a little bit flustered, but she's like, I'm absolutely fine. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm trying to find out what the hell happened here last night and how the hell the corpse of my old friend ended up attacking me. And he looks over and he tries to see starts walking up to the front of the shop a little bit, not going inside yet, but just looking in and like looking towards the front. Does he see any blood? Like maybe a trail of blood anywhere? Because he blew that zombie's leg off.
Yeah. It's more like you see dirt and grime. There might be more to it, like there could be bone or skin, but it looks like just gunk. The other thing you see is that there's nobody in here. There's just a little smoke in the air and the smell of sulfur.
I think it's safe to come in now.
Yeah, you're good, Alice.
So it was after you, and then like he kind of gestures to Una for them to come back up.
Yeah. Una will go right on in, and fortunately, there is a package kind of on the doorstep out front, and they take it in and start to unwrap it and busy themselves with that.
Okay, Briggs turns back to Evelyn. So, you fancy sticking around? Maybe having a little bit of tea?
She feels kind of weirded out that he's joking with her.
Briggs may seem a little bit different from when she first met him. Like he seems like he's acting a little younger than he was yesterday. Like, or acting like he would younger, like 30 years ago, younger. Not like.
Well, no, which is weirding her out. Which is, question, is Ronan still in here as well, or is he?
No, he's disappeared.
Yeah, I think she does a quick look around and realizes he's gone, and it's Evelyn. She sort of pauses for a moment. It's like, I mean, tea would be nice. It is, and she checks her watch. She's like, I haven't even had coffee yet.
Well, maybe we'll go get some after this, or I don't know. Maybe Una will be in the mood this time. And he's still like he's still just looking around, like just looking, like panning his head around the area, looking to see if he can see more like signs of anybody like around, like maybe he can follow it, some kind of trail or something. Just looking for any evidence of anybody.
I mean, there's definitely like muddy footprints coming in and going back out. It kind of trails off out back because the alley's filthy. But like there's evidence that like they were here.
Yeah. So, what do you know about the undead? Talking to Evelyn.
And she sort of looks to you. It's like, well, they're not alive for a start, really.
Most of them probably better off not being alive, that's for sure. At least from my experience.
And she sort of has a look again back where they came in. And I'm assuming this isn't just a normal thing. They don't just stroll in.
No.
This is definitely... would I have encountered any of them in particular before?
So undead in New Acadia, it's like zombies. Like they're more like proper zombies, where they're people who have been cursed and kind of in a comatose state, but they're alive. They're just under somebody else's control. That's like what a zombie is. Yeah, in New Acadia. These were reanimated corpses. It was something very different. Like, these are not common. Ghosts are. I mean, spirits. Like, those are very common in this city. It's an old city. But reanimated corpses is not something you've encountered before.
Yeah, I think she looks at Briggs. It's like, not that the average ghost and ghoul makes me feel comfortable, but these two made me feel particularly uncomfortable. It was incredibly unnatural for these corpses to be up and walking around, let alone she sort of gestures to the store, invading our lovely friend's store here. It's not something of the usual, at least not in my experience, and sort of gestures to the fact he's a hunter. I mean, is this just a regular Friday night for you, or?
Well, to tell you the truth, I've come across a few dead men cursed with life, if you know what I mean. But, well, last night, they were dead. They were rotted corpses. They got dragged right out of a grave and sent after us, somehow. I ain't never seen nothing like that.
No, me neither. It's rather
And
unsettling.
Whoever it was, they knew who I was. They knew who to send. So, I gotta figure out why they died here. And maybe our friend here might know a little more, or might be able to tell us a little more.
And perhaps who is sending them, if that's what you believe to know. I mean, these things don't just, well, I say just don't get up and walk around. That is clearly what they're doing, but they were buried in the ground beforehand. Something had to inspire them.
Something ain't right. Something's going on in this whole town. All this is connected. The vampires, the fae, these corpses walking after us.
What do the fae have to do with it?
Well, I told you last night I was tracking this girl. She got taken by these vampires. I followed them to this bar called the Blue, and what I saw was fae and vampires working together. I lost track of them after that, and I was hoping Nike would help me. In fact, and then he starts patting himself, and he's like, "Wait," pulls out the phone and turns it on. It's dead.
Would Evelyn know that fae and vampires wouldn't be?
Yeah, that's
mixing?
weird.
Yeah, like she's just like.
It might sound like he's speaking gibberish right now because, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because fae, vampire, like.
Yeah, there's a lot of different.
What?
Yeah.
Evelyn's fae and vampire don't mix. In extreme cases, they just don't get along.
Well, I know what I seen. It was this woman.
I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm saying I'm not happy about it. This isn't going to be good either way. Fae and vampire, we need to, one, find out who's doing this, and two, why?
And why this poor girl from the barrio? What has she got to do with any of this? It just don't make no sense. It all has to be connected somehow. He sits down in one of the booths, or like whatever, one of the chairs in the shop, and kind of looks over at Una.
Yeah, Una's been going around placing different types of stones and herbs on door frames, windowsills, any thresholds in the building, and that's what they've been doing, like, meticulously while y'all have been talking.
So you really think all that's gonna keep whatever's haunting this place out?
Stronger stuff than I've used before, so I'm optimistic. And I don't think whatever was here really cared about me. It seemed whatever you did out back pissed it off.
Maybe you're right. Maybe let's go ahead and go take another look out back now that there's a little more light around. So, head out back. As soon as he goes out back, he lights a cigarette, looking around. Just taking a closer look around. Is there something to roll to investigate a little bit more, or?
You could do investigate a place of power again, and I this time, instead of mortality, for Una owning the area, you can roll power. So investigate a place of power with power.
Right. Well, let me switch. What?
Oh, the little drop down?
Yeah. Let me reload.
Yeah, and you can also, I know they're having some outages on Roll20 right now, so if you just need to roll with whatever's there and then add the right modifier. Or I can roll it for you.
I got it. Okay, investigate a place of power. Let's go. How'd that go?
Succeeds partially. Good. You see through to the reality underneath. Okay. With a partial success. So you now know what you're looking for. Before it was more of a general thing, but now you have specifics. And something about this area, it's not clear right now, like you're in bright sunlight. It's not noon, so you're not really at a threshold time either. But I'm going to say that with your hunter instincts, you're getting the sense that there is a pocket.
A pocket?
Yeah, it's like I mean, there does seem to be that shimmer. You can't see it anymore in the sunlight, but there's something about it where you can just sense like there is extra space here that you can't see. Like that someone, I mean, large enough that somebody could be within it. It's just something that you can't see with your eyes or necessarily feel with your hands. It's probably the strangest thing you've ever felt. It's not something that you as a hunter would normally deal with, but you're keen into that power after all you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like a feeling.
So Briggs, he puts out his cigarette and kind of like he's kind of keeping his eye on it, like slowly backing towards the door. He peeks his head in. He's like, I got a question for y'all. First, y'all got a charger for this thing? Pulls out his phone.
Oh,
the phone that Nike gave him.
Is it an iPhone?
It's a
Or
it's a like thing. I don't know. It's the touch screen.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. I thought you'd have like a flip phone.
Well, man. I do got one of those. I got this thing. Nike gave me this thing. Can you charge it for me, please? And tell me if you see what I'm seeing. And he kind of like gestures over towards what like that energy. Like maybe he have them look at it.
Yeah.
Tell him what he thinks and what they think.
Mm-hmm. Una kind of having your phone in their hand, they step down the back stairs. And at first they don't seem to know what you're talking about. It seems like it's just they're not able to key into it. And then after, I think a solid minute goes by of intense concentration. They don't say anything. And then they point. They say, "What is that?"
I was hoping you would tell me. Evelyn, you see this?
And she probably comes and leans over Una's shoulders, like, see what? And can I pick it up or?
Like they're both like staring, like.
Yeah, you know, and like it's
Evelyn's trying to follow their eye line more than anything.
Why don't you investigate a place of power again? This time you, Evelyn, and I'm gonna take into account that you're tainted.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, there it is. Yeah. Oh, a 4.
Cool. So similar to what happened to Briggs before. As you are looking, concentrating, it's like a blast of force pushes you back. like onto your ass, basically. Like it's
Can I-
that strong.
Can I like do something to try to catch her?
Yeah,
or
you
something?
can catch her. Yeah.
Okay. I just like, ugh.
Yeah, it's probably sort of crashes into you, and she probably grabs the side of the wall, as well as probably Briggs as well. It's like, what is that? Or have I ever experienced that effect on something before?
No, that's,
okay.
I mean, that's not demonic. You don't think it's demonic, even with a miss.
She's like, okay, I don't know
And
what it is, but I don't like it.
And what the hell is it doing here, better yet?
It certainly doesn't like us looking at it.
Evelyn sort of takes a breath. She's like, it was probably knocked it out because she wasn't feeling it coming. And she's like, I suggest maybe we give it a little bit of space. And sort of it realizes Briggs is still holding onto her, sort of stands up. Thank you. Whatever it is, it can't be good.
It's almost like a defense mechanism, like when it noticed you noticing.
Well, it's not demonic, I'll give you that. I know when I see something demonic.
What could have put it here?
Something really powerful. And someone real good at disguising things. I never would have noticed if... That's some strong magic if I didn't notice it. I knew this place was powerful. It's part of the reason I chose the building. But I didn't know this might be the source of that. Or maybe it's not, and maybe whatever put it here wanted to be in a place of power too.
Excuse me, Una. Just a question. What do you know about this place? I mean, fully. You say you took it because it's a place of magic. Is there any other reason? Any history for this place?
Let me look through some of the paperwork I found in the building. Never really got a chance to go through it all, but come on inside. I don't like being out here knowing it's there now. I'll look it up.
Do you mind if I put the kettle on?
Sure.
She smiles and walks back towards wherever it is.
I think we're gonna cut over to Jose Juan now, who had a lovely motorcycle ride back to New Acadia East with a very handsome gentleman. Ooh, I think you're muted. Yeah, you might just have to... The old power cycle.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this was way too quick, too rapid for Jose Juan. He was very nervous of what happened.
Yeah.
The way he woke up, right? So he'll probably just went with Eduardo. He's very nervous also. He knows that something happened, and he's kind of worried about that. I look over my shoulder a couple of times just to notice was it the same place where the same bridge, everything was. It didn't seem that I moved way too much last night. Transform in Coyote, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it did seem like you kept near to the area because it's more it's less urban, right? Like there are less buildings up next to each other.
Okay.
So I mean, he's gonna pass by that bridge.
That's fine. And probably Jose Juan looks at it like with a long stare. He the first thing he wants to do is get out of there as soon as possible. He knows that whomever he heard probably is around there. So he doesn't want to be there anymore. And
Yeah.
normally Jose Juan tends to be a little bit chatty, but he's completely silent during the ride. And he's
Yeah.
like, you would normally like grab the back part of the motorcycle, but he's
Mhm.
like, he's suffering inside. He's like very nervous, and he's grabbing into Eduardo. He's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Just
Even
like,
if he feels uncomfortable, I won't let go.
oh, he doesn't feel uncomfortable. He's good with it all.
Okay.
But I will say when you do pass the bridge, you do see police lights near it.
Knew it. Okay. That
Yeah.
that even gets me more nervous.
Sure. Eduardo
Okay.
is like, doesn't even slow down. He's not speeding or anything. He's not an idiot, but just plays it cool. Actually, why don't you roll keep your cool?
Oh.
I think Jose Juan is in a keep your cool kind of state right now.
Okay. Okay.
Nice. Okay. So on a 7 to 9, the MC will tell you what it's going to cost you. I think you're just gonna have to embrace him really tightly as you go.
Yeah, that works. It's
Great.
like we're going through near the bridge, and as Jose Juan checks out that the police cars are around, all the sirens are there, he's really like grabbing him, like he could actually sense that, hey, whoa. And it, like he's very nervous, he's very tense.
Yeah. Eduardo's arms are like made of steel. They're so hard.
Okay. I'm a little bit envious, but yeah.
I just think I'm in love with him, and I need to find a good face claim at some point. So you're able to make it back home. He drives right up to your place and parks the motorcycle and says, "I'll wait for you out here. You have a good grip for being a little smaller than me or your average wolf."
Yes, thank you. And I just stop for a moment, and I look back to him, and it's like, why? And Jose Juan has a very puzzled look on him, and he would say, why would she go back and look for me? Did she tell you?
She said you were her friend.
Really? Okay.
I have zero reason to lie to you, man. I just met you.
Well, anyway, amigo, I appreciate the help. I will not forget this. Thank you. Gracias. And I get back to my home, and I lock the door, and I'll take a long, very long, hot bath. I feel tainted. I feel uncomfortable, right? And all the time I take in the bath, it's like I'm trying to. He knows he should not try to get too deep into his memories and try to know what happened, but he has this thing, right? And while I'm in the shower, it's like trying to remember, even if I'm able to see the person I attack or what happened, try to collect my memories if I'm able to.
Sure. Why don't you roll let it out? Let's see how it goes for Jose Juan right now.
Let it out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Awesome. So you can ignore the corruption if you want, or pick 2 instead of 1. Take +1 forward, extend your senses, supernatural or otherwise, frighten, intimidate, or impress your opposition, take definite hold of something vulnerable or exposed. I think 2 of those would definitely work for what you're trying to do. The only thing is, do you want another one, or do you want to ignore the corruption?
No, I'll ignore the corruption.
Okay. So as you kind of soak in the tub, the very hot water kind of steams the small bathroom, and you kind of lean your head back, and maybe you're kind of drifting off, but every so often you just see, it's like flashes. It's a man with a really scraggly kind of ginger beard and blue eyes, warming his hands by a makeshift fire. Seems to be homeless. There are trappings of like a place to live there.
Right, and I remember that I tried to check out under the bridge, and there were a couple of homeless people around. So, okay.
Yeah, you see this kind of through your transformed eyes. So you're lower. He seems like when he sees you at first to smile, thinking that you're like maybe a stray dog from the area, or maybe, you know, from further away and just lost. Kind of reaches out towards you, and then it starts to get really erratic. Just kind of moving in flashes, like your vision switches as you think you leap through the air, and you see the man fall down with you on top of him, and you start to hear screams.
Okay.
And that's it.
I tried to stop right there.
Yeah.
I move around on the tub, panting like, "Ay Dios." And I try to calm myself. I finish my shower, get new clothes, and I know that probably, I mean, there's a lot of things going around my head, but I probably need to go and report on Manuel, Señor Manuel, Don Manuel. Okay.
Eduardo meets you right where you left him. It looks like he's you see some guys walking around. It looks like he's been talking to some folks. And he's just kind of perched on the bike waiting for you.
Okay. So as soon as I get out, I mean, I'm not wearing any fancy. Again, it's probably another soccer team T-shirt or something, and pants, and chanclas because I lost my shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, I acknowledge him. I look at him, but I try to lower my view, like my head, and try to pass through him. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but
yeah,
I need to get going, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, y'all can make your way there. It's getting close to mid-morning, almost like early afternoonish.
Okay.
And you can go straight there if that's what you want to do.
Yep.
And you arrive at the building in the central business district that you know Manuel owns. Eduardo pulls up, makes no move to go inside, and Faye walks out of the building, mostly on her phone. She's not wearing her nurse's scrubs right now. Her hair is still pulled back, maybe. And she looks tired, maybe like she had worked a night shift or something. And she walks up. Eduardo kind of straightens up.
Oof.
Like not like more like he's intimidated by her.
Okay.
Yeah. Faye walks up.
So he was having like this. He was living in over on their motorcycle. They're like, oh, okay.
And yeah, she walks out without looking up from her phone. Okay, follow me.
Buenos dias. And you know, again, I have this look like I'm ashamed. I'm I lower my head. I'm trying to avoid eye contact as much as I can.
Yeah. Great.
No word on the elevator.
It seems like Faye's into that. She's just on her phone. And you're able to go up to the penthouse. It opens up again into kind of lobby-ish, maybe like home away from home type deal. And Faye like immediately plops into an armchair, somehow making it look elegant. And Manuel is there. He smiles broadly when he sees you and gestures for you to come in.
And I look around, start walking, and I won't take a seat. I put my arms in front of me, and I buenos días, señor Manuel.
Buenos días.
You asked me to track this little girl. I bring some news. I know I already sent you some information back on the phone, but I think it was better to come and talk to you personally. Is this okay?
Oh, yes, it's fine. I actually prefer it to this. I'm not like Miss Chen. And he smiles over at Faye, who does not acknowledge him.
She keeps looking at the phone.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I keep going, and I relay all the information I got. I found her, senor. She was at the place that you said, and she was with very strange people, not normal people, And she looked very ill. She was like, I don't know, like drunk or something, or sick or something. She was not looking very good.
He puts his hand up. Who are you talking about?
The girl. And the person who were with them, or the girl herself?
The girl?
Yes. Yes.
You mean some girl killed my mother? Some drugged up girl?
Señor Manuel, I know this might sound weird, but I'm very positive. I smell her, and I'm pretty sure she was it.
You're sure?
I'm pretty sure, yes. She had the scent. And there's something more, Señor Manuel. I am not the only one tracking her. There was also an old man.
Describe him.
Big, old. He looks very tough. And I know his name. He's called Briggs. Senor Briggs.
Ah, yes. See. He lives in your neighborhood.
That's what I heard, yes.
Yes.
In the barrio. He was also looking for her, by Father Diaz was the one who asked for him.
Father Diego Diaz is looking for...
Yes, for the little girl. Yes.
I feel like something is being lost. I didn't send you to look for a little girl, but you say that she matched the scent on the scarf I gave you?
Yes, senor.
That is not what I expected.
I was also able to get the license plate. That's the one I sent you over on the phone, I don't know if that might help. Very expensive car, very expensive.
Faye, And Faye just, again, doesn't look up on it. And a second later, you hear an alert go off. And she stands up. And
look at
kind
her.
of, she looks up and looks at you, Jose Juan. You're sure that was the car. This is definitely the number that you saw.
Yeah, he by this time, by this moment, he's very, with all the things that he's experiencing right now and everything, all the feelings that he's having, and between two people of who he perceives with high power, he's very intimidated. Like he's, like, sí, señorita, I'm pretty sure.
She walks over to you and she has a picture on her phone. The picture is of a very pale woman with strawberry blonde hair and bright green eyes. Is this the woman?
I remembered you said there was a man and a woman. One was with a purplish hair, and the man had the one was with purple hair, and the other one was turquoise.
Yep, and they were with another woman with strawberry blonde hair.
Okay. So do I recognize her?
Yes.
I do recognize her? Okay. Then I'll tell her. Yes, I recognize her. She was also there.
But she wasn't... Was she the one you smelled, or was this other little girl you're talking about?
She was with the little girl.
Which one of them is the one that matched the scent? Do you know?
I was not that near, señorita. I'm sorry.
Well, that's probably good for you. That's why you're alive.
It was coming from inside the car. And I was only able to see these people. But I could not get any near.
Faye kind of turns very abruptly to Manuel and says, "It's Kara McKnight." And this look passes over his face. Oh man, you almost think there's a tinge of fear in him.
This is the first time I see something on him like that.
Yeah.
What's her reaction? Is she also, did she change her demeanor, or?
There's Did you roll put a face to a name with Faye?
Yep. And I know that she's part of the pack with Manuel.
I'll say, I think Jose Juan is a pretty empathetic guy and can kind of pick up on this. There seems to be some kind of personal history there. She does look a little afraid too, but also like she hates this woman's guts.
Okay. Okay. I say absolutely nothing. I just like nothing. Like, sí, señora. Sí.
She still addresses Manuel. You can't have him follow her. And that's when he kind of flips a switch and says, yes, I can, Faye. He is, in fact, the perfect person to follow her because she will not recognize him from our group. And Faye looks pissed.
Okay. She looks pissed at him?
Yeah.
Or at me?
Him. No, at him. At him, not at you.
Okay. All right.
At him.
All right. Don Manuel, do you need anything from me? Or can I go now?
Jose Juan.
Yes, that's my name.
I'd like you to find these women these two, Kara and the girl. What's her name? Rosa Luna.
Right, but I'm not sure if Briggs actually told me her name. He showed me the picture, but I don't think.
Yeah.
No, wait. I did recognize her.
Yeah, you
She's from the
vaguely
barrio too.
Yep.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. And what do you want me to do, Señor Manuel?
I don't want you to approach them. I want you to, if you can find out maybe where she's staying, and that's it.
Okay.
Just information, what she's doing, who she's seen with, but maintain a distance. This is, she's not someone to be taken lightly.
I understand, Señor Manuel. What about the other people with the funny hairs?
He kind of shrugs. See if you can find out who they are.
Okay.
But I don't know anything about them off the top of my head.
Will do, boss. All right.
He kind of nods at Faye, and she starts to escort you to the elevator again. She has a check in her hand for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I make no conversation and
just... she gonna.
Oh.
As soon as the elevator door closes.
Oh no. Okay.
She doesn't like stop it or anything, but
okay.
She's very much out of her phone now. She looks like pissed.
Oh, so now we got her attention. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
We got her attention.
Fine. Okay. Very good.
You had her curiosity. Now you have her attention. She stands very close to you and looks you right in the eye.
I feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, again, I'm very intimidated by her. I will probably make no eye contact, but you can actually feel like I'm getting shrunk. Like
yeah. You heard what he said, right?
Sí, señorita.
Observe. Do not approach. Do not engage.
Sí, señorita.
That woman is no joke. She will eat you alive, or worse, she'll make you her plaything.
I understand, señorita.
Do you?
Sí.
Okay.
I will not fail. I'll do my job. Don't worry. Tell the boss I'll do okay. You know?
She kind of shakes her head, and the elevator doors...
I'm being very sincere as I can.
Oh yeah, she knows that it's kind of like that's not what she's worried about. She's kind of worried about you dying because you want to do such a good job. But she's not going to tell you that. The elevator doors open. Eduardo is still there, probably flexing somehow. I don't know. He's doing push-ups on the street. He's bored.
Really?
I don't know. He's an active guy. He just had to wait there. He doesn't have Evelyn's number, so what's he supposed to do?
Okay. All right. So, problem is, I know Senor Briggs is located at the. I think the best course of action would be go and try to find him at the barrio.
Okay.
Because he is also looking for the girl, and the girl and the lady are together, so that helps me.
Didn't Briggs give you his number? There was an exchange of numbers. And
you did?
Yes.
Did, Senor Briggs? Okay, so I look around in my shitty cell phone.
Yeah.
And look for Senor Briggs.
Yep, you got him.
Okay.
And just as the phone springs to life, and you might see that name, Briggs, instead you see the name Jose Juan as your phone rings. Or strange guy I saw behind the blue. However you put him in there.
So, yeah.
Señor Briggs,
Oh, it's you.
habla Jose
Where-
Juan.
Yeah,
Buenos
yeah, yeah. I remember. Where are you?
I'm back at the near my home at the barrio. I was wondering if do you? And you know that he's like hesitant of the words he might need to choose to speak about this.
Mm-hmm.
There's an awkward small silence, and it's like, see, Senor Briggs, do you still need help for looking for little Rosaluna? Because I wanna help you.
So you still want to help me, right? You're not gonna run away again, are you?
There's a pause at the call, and it's like, no, Senor Briggs, I'm very sorry about that. I'm really sorry. Lo siento. I hope this will not happen again. I was feeling very bad. I'm sorry.
I think Briggs is starting to feel like there's something good about his character, Jose Juan's character, and there's still something like he knows something is up with him, but he keeps failing all those figuring it out.
He's too nice.
Like he's just too nice to be a wolf, or a coyote. But so
dare
Briggs
you?
is
Eduardo is very nice if you just let him take you out for a drink. He's charming. Anyway.
So he goes, you got a ride?
I look back and watch you. I stare at Eduardo.
Eduardo smiles at you winningly.
Yes, Mr. Briggs, I got a ride.
Well, remember that old tea shop we were at last night where we got in the scuffle with those undead monsters?
Oh, with the crazy things and the lady that was going out from the... Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Yeah. Well, head on back there. We'll be waiting for you. Don't take too long, though. I don't want to stick around here too long.
Yes, Senor Briggs. I'm going right away. And I hang up.
He doesn't even say bye. He just hangs up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going there. Bye. Get back to Eduardo and... Eduardo, amigo, I need another favor to ask. Can you help me? From compa to compa,
What
Come
do you
on.
need help with?
You're very handy with that motorcycle. And
I am very good with my hands, yes.
Yes, you're very good. Can you give me a ride back to, what was it? The eastern part of New Acadia?
Uptown.
Uptown, yes.
Sure. Is that a friend of yours going to be there?
I don't know. Maybe.
I got nothing better to do, really. Not while the sun's up. So, sure, I'll give you a ride.
That last phrase, it gets a little bit... Okay. So, can you help me?
Yeah, get
All right.
on.
Okay. This is a small tea shop. Very famous, but like very hipster, Have you seen it? Good teas there.
No, I don't.
Well, you just drive. I'll tell you. Okay.
Sure. Tell me all about it. And the motorcycle roars to life. You won't be able to hear anything you say, and we'll have all of you meet up at the Basic Witch tea shop.
Okay.
Yeah. You all hear the motorcycle pull up. Evelyn, you recognize it right away.
He's probably
Eduardo?
one of those people that he doesn't have like a helmet, like a motorcycle helmet, but probably Jose Juan is like, and he's like a huge helmet, and it's like riding around with him.
That's great. Yes, Eduardo is my bi icon. So You all are together. Eduardo's coming in. I mean, what's the guy gonna do? It's fine.
Jose Juan, I see you brought a friend. Was he your ride?
Yes,
Okay.
this is Eduardo. He's a
Okay,
good friend.
I'm gonna try to figure him out.
Sure.
It's
Roll
I'll
with,
get one of them.
Thunder Mind. You'll get one of them.
Here we go.
Definitely this NPC. Yes, this NPC. You got him. On a hit, hold 2. So you can ask 2 of those questions, and they hold 1 on you as well.
Okay.
So you can ask 2 questions from the list.
So, if you don't mind me, Jose Juan, Eduardo, who do y'all really work for?
I pull the tea awkwardly in the background.
Uh-huh.
I look straight to the floor.
Eduardo doesn't. He looks at you. Well, hi there.
Pleased to meet you. Name's Reginald Briggs.
That's quite a name for quite a man.
Oh yes, he's Senor Briggs. You know the one that we're talking to you. You know.
Right. I'm Eduardo, and I think we actually live in the same place. But I work, since you're being so candid, I work for a man named Manuel Ordonez.
Okay, does Briggs know who that is?
Put a face to a name with Knight.
Okay.
I
Who
take 2
knows?
steps backwards.
Yeah. He didn't say you worked for him.
No.
What is it? 9.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what most people know about them. Manuel Ordonez is a very prominent young businessman. The Ordonez family is in New Acadia, and I think because you live in the neighborhood, you know he is like, he has the neighborhood's back. He's like kind of its patron of sort, its protector. You know that New Acadia East has a wolf population, but they are not feral in any way. They are
No feral at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
No
And
worries
that
there.
is in large part because of Manuel.
Okay, so he knows. Okay, Briggs would know that they're involved with the wolves.
You would know Eduardo is.
Yeah, and so but Briggs, I would say, like, since he knows they're all from East, like he's not gonna feel intimidated at all. Like,
yeah.
And in fact, like I don't know what would make Briggs I'm trying to like play the character, but I don't know what would make him intimidated.
You'll meet Kara later. It's okay.
You know, yeah.
You'll be
he's just like he definitely doesn't offer a handshake, Briggs.
Yeah.
But he goes, "Oh, you were for the Ordonez family.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll consider us on the same side for now. But
are we on the same side?
Well, we're going the same direction, and I imagine we're looking for the same people.
Are we? See, I sometimes go both directions. Just depends on my mood.
That goes right over Briggs's head. It goes right over his head. He's like, well, I sometimes go east and sometimes west, so I guess I feel you.
Okay. Anything else you want to ask me while we're being so candid with each other?
You seen this girl? Hands in the picture.
Yeah, she's been missing for a while from the neighborhood. A couple days.
That's right. And I imagine who you're looking for is who I'm looking for too. Maybe we should go one direction, if you know what I mean, for now.
Like the same direction.
Now you're feeling me. So
he definitely like surreptitiously winks at Evelyn.
Evelyn is just shaking her head as she pours this tea.
Like Briggs is trying to act all cool, but he has no idea, like, you know, the innuendos. Like he's just I'm cool, aren't I?
She's right behind Briggs, like in line sight, just like
perfect. This is beautiful. I love it.
So I would say, like, he catches Eduardo up on what happened in the, and maybe Jose Juan and Evelyn kind of chime in as to what happened at the tea shop last night. You know, with the undead monsters and and this weird shimmer in the back there. And he tells them about how he tracked the vampires to the blue, and the fae with the strange hair, and the woman with the strawberry blonde hair in the limo. Was it a limo or was it just a really fancy
It was
car?
a limo.
It
It was a limo. Yeah. And he says, matter of fact, I think I still got that license plate. And he goes, he goes over to where they plugged his phone in for him, the Nike phone.
Yeah.
He turns it on. It takes him a while to do the little to unlock it. He goes, oh, here we go.
And there's just a name. It says Kara McKnight.
Okay, I don't think Briggs has probably ever heard that name before. Probably not.
No, probably
He's been out of the
not.
game for a while.
Yeah.
He's been out of the game for a
She's
while.
kind of a newer big deal, definitely.
So he says, you heard this name before? Kara McKnight. What's that name? What does that name mean to you? He says it out loud for everyone, of course, to hear it.
Eduardo can't help but cast a glance at Jose Juan, because Eduardo is not privy to that particular information, and now he is. But he immediately kind of shifts and says, she's a vampire.
So she is a vampire. But what's she doing hanging around with them fae? Would you know?
I have no idea.
Any idea where they reside? Maybe your boss might know.
He does not.
I just make a couple of nervous looks around, like,
Yeah.
yes, see.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah. Jose Juan's not doing a great job with his poker face. I don't think. I think that's what you're conveying to me. Eduardo's doing a decent job, except for that glance back. You think Kara McKnight took Rosaluna?
Well, it's the only lead I got. All I know was I tracked her to that bar, and they took off in that limo. Where they were headed, I have no idea. We got caught up in what was going on over here, thanks to Nike. But I think this is all connected somehow. The fae, the vampires, this place, whatever's going on around here, it's all connected.
I lean towards to Eduardo and I say, you see, he's very good at this, you know?
Yeah, I'm picking up on that.
He's good, very good, muy bueno.
The only thing I need is a way to track him down. And I imagine a person with your set of skills might be able to help me out.
It's possible.
Well, I'm open to suggestions.
Question is, when it comes to demons and it comes to vampires, how are they with each other? Like, I know that vampires and fae don't get on, but how are demons and vampires?
It largely depends. Demons, I'd say, are bigger picture players, way more behind the scenes, whereas the vampires, especially in New Acadia, are a little more out. They can work together. They generally don't, but there's nothing to stop. The problem is that vampires have little to bargain with, as they do not have souls.
But is it's not like an aggression between each one because of that? Okay.
No, they just usually don't have the same interests, so they don't come into conflict a lot.
Okay. Yeah, mostly throughout this, Evelyn is just watching. She's, as I said, she's very much a listener. And she's taking in the names, she's taking in every single bit of detail she can, probably looking to Una every now and then, just to see if she reacts to any of the names. Not questioning, but
Yeah.
seeing if she reacts to any of the names.
They don't react to Kara McKnight at all. They are pretty busy rifling through the paperwork, and they seem to be like caught up in something. Like they found something odd.
I think Evelyn may, if they're all talking,
Yeah.
at that point, Evelyn will walk over to them, towards Una. Yeah. Not stand too close, but is definitely in close proximity, so she doesn't have to raise her voice. Found something interesting.
Yeah. Just the there's a pattern. I don't recognize any of the names particularly, but it looks like every 5 or so years, this place gets put up for sale and bought.
How many years, if I may inquire, have you owned this place?
Just about 5.
Interesting.
And it's sold for real cheap. I mean, I got it for practically nothing from a woman.
Not thinking of putting it on the market at all yet, are you?
No, even with this all going on, I thought up my wardens and everything would be fine, but that is a disturbing pattern.
One to keep an eye on. Perhaps you shouldn't stay here alone after all.
I think maybe you're right.
And Evelyn will take out again that tiny little notebook in her top pocket and probably just write down there. She said, "Are there any names at all? I may not know what they are, but maybe I can find something out about it."
There is, so the most recent one is just initials, and let me see if I can find, of course I can't right now, but the first initial, oh, no, I can't, it's RZ. That one's just initials everywhere. There is the name, there are a couple other names that don't mean much, and then there's the name Jebediah. And it goes back some more, and the records go back really far. We're talking like
1600?
like it's obviously they've been copied, but they go back to almost the founding of the city.
And I think maybe Evelyn, knowing some bits, would probably not think that's a good thing, as much as she likes old things, but it makes sense for something this old to have something surrounding it.
Yeah.
And she sort of writes down the name Jebediah and smiles like, "I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. We can figure it out." And gives a smile it's really trying to be sweet, but she's not very good at it.
Yeah.
So is Jebediah? I mean, I'm sorry. Does Briggs hear them talking about Jebediah, or is he still talking to Eduardo and?
I think this
Jose
is
Juan?
happening at the same time, but Una will say, "Hey Briggs, I think I found something about your friend."
He takes a look at the paper, sees probably sees the name on there, and it says, "Huh, I don't take Jebediah for a tea drinker, but I imagine this wasn't always a tea shop."
She's like, "Look at the date," and she sort of taps on the paper.
So what was this place 28 years ago?
So interestingly, Jebediah's name is dated after he died. 5 years after he died.
Wait, this ain't right. So, he died. A dead man can't sign his name.
Apparently he can.
Well, he apparently can bust down the back door of a tea shop. But
What does that mean, Senor Briggs?
I'm trying to put it together, but this is all something different. You know, in my line of work, I do all the shooting and ask the questions afterward. This is just I need to talk to somebody. I need to ask somebody. I need to call the guild.
Any hobbies your friend had before he disappeared?
We were all hunters. Till death, and we always will be hunters. You know, I try to hang it up, but it never hung me up. I feel like I'm about to get hung out to dry right now. He sits down in the on one of the booths. He's just kind of giving up a little bit of hope. I gotta make a call. So, goes into his phone, and who is the current leader of the guild again?
Katia Fortier.
So she's been a leader for how long, you'd say?
I mean, she's definitely she's been involved with the guild probably since she was like 20. So she's been involved since then, but only recently took over leadership, like the last 3 years, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 4 years. Yeah.
So I'd say they probably have each other's number, but they rarely talk. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But they probably don't get along either very well, because like she's an all new school, you know. She does it her way, and like
she does.
The old ways are bad, you know, stuff like that. Okay, but so he says, "Excuse me." He steps out. He steps out front. Has another smoke. And calls her up.
And I think on that call, that's where we'll end tonight's session. I think we've made a lot of progress, and all the characters got to interact with people. And it was awesome. I feel good. Things are starting to come together, both in the characters' minds and mine. I really, really enjoy playing to find out what happens. It's one of my favorite things about this system. So yeah, I'll hand it over to Alice if we want to go around and do outros.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we're back in this game. I've missed it. Before we head round, definitely please go check out Ria Massa as well. They couldn't be here this evening, but please go check out all of their stuff. Do some wonderful bits and bobs. Otherwise, we will start with Ravenheart. Oh, hi.
What's up, guys? You can find me at twitch.tv/Ravenheart. I've been a partner on Twitch for over 5 years. Scarathon's coming back. I'm the co-founder of an awesome all horror charity event, 3-day event. It's going to be May 29th to 31st. Signups are open right now if you guys are interested in that. Other than that, I've been playing a lot of the FF7 remake. I just got an early copy today, so that's why I was totally late today. So sorry about that. I totally lost track of time. Anyway,
it's Final Fantasy 7. That's fine.
It's my childhood, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Wonderful, thank you. And then we're going to head over to Mr. Loki. Oh, hi.
Well, this was a very fun session. I really enjoy it. Thank you very much for having me. And you can follow me on Twitter. Probably the hand is around there somewhere. And also, I'll take the opportunity to make a shout out. We're celebrating this NetCon 2020, and this is an online convention for role players, but this is for Spanish role players. Everything is coming from Latin America and Spain. Very, very, very excited to be there. There's a lot of people playing around, and well, we're taking a lot of focus on community and Latin American community and Spanish community, Spanish-speaking community. So let's see how it goes. A couple of if you know Spanish and would like to try out some games, just head on to Netcon 01. I'll probably try to share later on the handle on Twitter. And thank you.
Awesome. If there's any links that can send us more information, just drop those in the channel as well. That'd be awesome. Thank you. And before I sign off, our wonderful, wonderful Master of Ceremonies, Lauren.
Yay! I'm really happy with how everything is shaping up. I'm Lauren. I'm that Salty Ginger over on Twitter and half of Salty Sweet Games here on Twitch with my best friend Kiana. Let's see, what do we do? Tomorrow is Friday. We don't do anything on Friday. Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific. I run Masks of Nyarlathotep in the Pulp Cthulhu system, and they're coming to the end of the prologue. It's going to be wild. They're in a pyramid. There are fat-sucking vampires and parasites, and it's just gross. And maybe Nyarlathotep's going to show up. Who knows? We don't have Witcher this Sunday, but we are going to be finishing RE3 remake. It's been a lot of fun, screaming and cursing.
What difficult are you on?
I'm not telling you. No, you know what? I don't care. I'm not assisted, bro, because
I heard it's still tough. So
it is. I've been surviving. Only one thing killed me, and it was bullshit. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I wanted to make sure that we could get through it all live on stream without me having to like slog my way through. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Otherwise, you can find me here and on Off the Table for a game in the Cypher system and many other fun things soon to come. But just Twitter, that's Salty Ginger or Salty Sweet Games, and you can see all of that there. Thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you. Otherwise, I'm White Rabbit Pick. That's where you can find me on Twitter. I have a photography Patreon with a lot of stuff going to it right now. Currently making a 1 meter by 1 meter studio because I can't go outside. So please check that out. I'm also becoming a DM for around 2 or 3 more games on some other channels coming, so keep an eye out for that as well. Please check out the links coming up in chat now. That includes the Discord. There is a channel specifically for this game, and we'd love to hear what you think about it and maybe theories of all the crazy stuff that's going on. If you would like to get into a game, drop Scrat a DM on Twitter, and if you've missed out on anything and want to catch up or just watch again, you can head over to YouTube and see all of our games and playlists. A huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors who we couldn't do this without, in the form of the Deck of Many, with their magic moving spell cards, and Humblewood, which you would have seen just before this, Maychan Press with Dark Matter and their Fey Folio, also the wonderful Hero Forge and their colour printed minis, and last but certainly not least, Dungeon Fog with their interactive maps and notes, which will sort of help you build your campaign and world. Otherwise, until next week, keep evoking emotions, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Okay, everyone, let's go on a raid. I hope you're ready. We're gonna head over somewhere and take all the hype across. Let's have a little look. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna go and raid someone that you will find on the channel tomorrow. They're gonna be with us at 5 p.m. EST. So make sure you tune in then. And until next time, everyone, keep on evoking emotions.